Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of November 2nd, 2016, and yes, it is already November, and this year is almost over. Thank God. Alright, if some of you have noticed, I've monetized here on YouTube. I'm trying it out, seeing if it works. Thank you for your support by dealing with ads. But it seems to put the ad beforehand and delay the video by 25. Like, it starts the video at 25 seconds into the video. I don't know if that's for longer videos and I'm supposed to put an ad in the middle. I don't know, so I'm going to test this out and do a little pause in between the pull list and the read list and see if putting it in there will fix it. So please bear with me while I'm trying to figure this stuff out. But yeah, what you're here for, my pull list, my read list, all that fun stuff. So let's get right to it. First up on my pull list is Aquaman number 10. I got caught up with Aquaman, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. It's still interesting, still good. I'm still wanting to pick up the next issue, so there's that. Next up is Batman number 10, I Am Suicide. Story arc continues. Read issue 9, and Tom King just knocks it out of the park with Batman. So yeah, I'm just going to keep reading it. It's good. Duh. Next up is a one-shot, and it's because of next week. We have a nice theme for a couple books on this week's pull list. But as Catwoman Election Night number 1. This is the main cover. There is a variant cover to this you'll see later, which I picked up. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what Catwoman does on Election Night, or if it has anything to do with that. Next up is Cyborg number 4. This is actually the variant cover for Cyborg number 4. We were shorted all of our copies of the regular cover. So yeah, don't know if I'm going to keep going with Cyborg. I'm going to give probably to the end of this first story arc a chance. It's okay, but I've already started to cut some titles off of my pull list and drop them down to my read list. So yeah. Next up we have DC Comics Bombshells number 19. This collects digital issues 55 through 57. Yep, just keep going with Bombshells. It's okay, not great, not grandiose, but yeah, I'm still reading it. Next up we have Death of Hawkman number 2 of 6. Really enjoyed the first issue, so I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. But I've always liked Doctor Strange. What the hell is Adam Strange? Yeah, Adam Strange, and the Adam Strange Hawkman dynamic has always been cool. Next up is Disney Frozen number 2. I got this for my daughter, so we will hopefully read that at some point. Yeah. Next up is The Ever After number 3. I really enjoyed the first 2 issues of this. I'm glad that we have something like this going, because I need something to fill my Fables void. Next up is the other politically charged book, especially with the cover, and that's Faith number 5, with Hillary standing there. Yeah, the election is next week, and due to the election, we are not recording an episode of Comic Conspiracy, but I'll get into that later. Let's keep going with the pull list. Next up, we have Flintstones. Oh, sorry, there's another book. Bedrock the Vote, number 5. If you can't tell, there's a theme going on. Flintstones is awesome. You should read it. The last issue was about monogamy and how they don't like it, and they should just go back to the sex cave. It was great. Flintstones has been an amazing book, and if you haven't gotten a chance to pick it up, if you can't find those early issues, then just wait for the trade, but it's really good stuff. Next up, we have Green Arrow number 10. So we start a new story arc, Murder on the Empire Express. Yep. So it's a train, and it's, yeah. I don't know. Green Arrow's been good. I've been enjoying it. Next up, we have Green Lanterns number 10. They're starting to deal with the Phantom Ring, seeing how all of that comes into play. The last issue touched on what the Phantom Ring is, and it apparently is a ring that anybody can wear. Anybody can pick it up and wear it. It's not like the restrictions that the other rings have, where the rings choose the wearer. So it's pretty interesting. So I'm curious to see where they take that concept. Next up, we have Harley Quinn number 7. Harley is apparently undercover as a punk rocker to take care of some gang thugs, and they're going to go into a superhero, supervillain costume party thing or whatever. I have no idea. It's Harley, it's Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti. Next up is Justice League number 8. We have Outbreak, Part 1. I just finished up the State of Fear issues, and they were okay. I'm not too sure if I'm really into them, but we'll see. Justice League's been an okay title so far. I'm hoping it stays really good and people want to get it. Next up is Nightwing number 8. This is the variant cover because I didn't really care for the main cover. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep Nightwing. I haven't read issue 7, so I need to check that one out to see if that's something that I want to keep getting. But I wasn't really impressed with Nightwing, and then it crossed over with Batman and Detective, and I liked those issues. But we'll see if I want to continue with Nightwing. Next up on the pull list is Superman number 10. In the Name of the Father, Part 1 starts. I'm just really, really excited to read about Superman, or about Clark and Jonathan and Bruce and Damian. Tomasi, for years, has done an amazing job with the father-son dynamic. And I'm really curious to see how he puts the two together, from Batman and Robin and Superman and Superboy. So, yeah, we'll see. Next, well, that's it for the pull list, except for we have the variants now. If there's a ding, it's because I can't shut the stupid notifications off on my thing, so sorry about that. So let's get into the variants. First up, we have Aquaman number 10 with a pretty schwanky mirror cover there. This is not the way to do it. I'm just going to go back to this. Yeah, there we go. I did pick up the Tim Sale Batman number 10 variant because I liked the Catwoman on that one. His variants have not been good, but that one I actually enjoyed, so I picked it up. We have the variant for the Catwoman Election Night. That one I thought was pretty cool. This one was the toss-up one, but I still got it anyway, and it's a very rainbow-y colored Green Lantern, but it reminded me of how my son sometimes colors. He just wants to color rainbow stuff, so he puts a bunch of colors in there. So, yeah. Then Harley Quinn, of course, had a variant cover that was very and then we had the Yannicka Paquette Justice League Flash cover right there. Picked that one up. And then finally we had the Superman choking out Batman variant cover there. So yeah, so sizable amount of books that I'm picking up for myself. Let's get these out of my way. Yeah, I did pick up for those of you who like it, the hardcover version of Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, number 6 is out. This is the only way I'm getting a cheap Jim Lee cover. So I like them. It's going to go on the shelf right behind me right here, and I'm going to finish hopefully the spine thing. But yeah, and then the other graphic novel I got was the DC Superhero Girls Hits and Myths little book. Yeah, I haven't actually gotten a chance to read these with my daughter yet, but I've picked up the first one and this one, so I'm looking forward to checking those out with her. So yeah, so right now I'm going to pause. I'm looking at the time and I'm figuring out what time it is. So most likely there was an ad right before this or during this, or you just saw the ad and I'm now rambling on about the fact that you just saw an ad. I'm just testing this out to see if this works to make the longer videos more fluid. So yeah, but let's get on to what you're here for, and that's the rest of the pull list, and that's the reading part. This is the books that I take home to read, to be current and all that wonderful stuff. We have another one, number 1 from Marvel, and that's Avengers number 1. Mark Waid is writing it, so I'm hopeful on that part, but the artist is Mike Del Mundo, and I'm not a big fan of his art, and I don't know if it's going to fit the Avengers. So, yeah, we shall see. Next up, we have Champions number 2. Ryan actually told me to flip to the back page and see it, and yeah, it's pretty shitty. Pretty shitty. Not looking forward to reading it, and yeah, still pretty shitty. Next up, we have Death of X304. This is a variant cover. We didn't have very many of the regular cover, and variants don't normally sell out for us, so I snagged this up to check it out. Charlie actually read it while we were recording episode 284 of the Comics Conspirator tonight, and he says it's bad. So I'm not looking forward to issue 3. But yeah, I'll still read it. Another number 1 from Marvel, and that's Fool Killer. Don't know why I'm going to even torture myself trying to check that book out, but I will for you. For you. So when you ask me a question about it in the comments, I can answer it truthfully. Truthfully, it's probably a piece of shit. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Mayday, number 1 of 5. This is a new book from Image, so just figured I'd check it out, see if it sticks. Next up is from Steve Orlando, and that's Midnighter and Apollo number 2 of 6. I'm looking forward to it. Midnighter's been pretty cool, and I liked the first issue, and Orlando's just done a great job on the Midnighter series before that, so yeah. Next up is Moon Knight number 8 from Jeff Lemire. Shit's crazy in this book. I love it. That's all I can say. Another number 1 from Marvel this week. Yep, it's gonna happen a lot, and it's Occupy Avengers. I do this for you people. I torture myself for you. Just ask me a question about it in the comments. Alright, next up we have Shade the Changing Girl, number 2. The first one was trippy as shit, and I could not understand it. So hopefully, issue 1 was trippy as shit. So hopefully issue 2 is not as trippy, but I'm not hopeful. But yeah. And then finally, another number 1 from Marvel, and I'm actually looking forward to this one, and that's The Unworthy Thor by Jason Aaron. So we actually get to see what happened to Thor after Original Sin. Yes, Original Sin. It was a Marvel event that happened a long time ago, and we are now finally figuring out where the fuck Thor has been and what the fuck he's been doing. So it's written by Jason Aaron, so I'm like, whatever, I don't care. He's done a great job on Thor and the female Thor and all that, so I'm like, whatever, just give it to me. Give me the Unworthy Thor. So that's it for my pull list. Oh god, I need to do my outro. I hate my outros. They suck. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Leave comments down below. I just finished recording episode 284 of the Comics Conspiracy with Ryan Higgins and Charlie West, where we talk like the final Rebirth number 1 or Rebirth titles and Rebirth number 1s, or number 1s that came out of Rebirth. So that's what we talk about on the whole episode. So if you're curious about titles like Deathstroke and Trinity and Blue Beetle and a few others, then check it out. But check it out regardless. We recorded an awesome podcast. You can help support myself and my fellow conspirators at patreon.com/comic conspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting and getting food and comics and all that wonderful stuff, and we appreciate everybody who donates. But yeah, you also get some exclusive content. Charlie and Toby recently recorded, I think, the 2nd episode of The Roundup, where they talk TV and movies, and not geek stuff, just kind of regular TV and movies. So that's up for all you Patreon backers. So if you're curious about that, for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to it. But thank you again to all of our Patreon backers. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. Yeah. What else? Oh, yes. Box tops. I'm still going to bring up the box tops things. One of our listeners sent some box tops to Brody. Thank you very much, Eric, for getting that. Hope you enjoyed your thank you note from Brody. But if you are collecting box tops and or want to help my son out and his school, collect up those box tops. They're the little ones that actually say box top on them, not like labels for education, but box top. Throw them in an envelope, put some couple forever stamps on there, and ship them to 115A East Fremont Avenue, Sunnyvale, California 94087, and put Brody down as the name. I want to thank Monique. She's a friend of mine from high school who saw a post on my Facebook and sent Brody a nice little thick envelope full of box tops. Haven't opened it yet. We got it yesterday, and of course you know what yesterday was? Halloween. So, well, 2 days ago was Halloween, but I recorded this in the middle of that. Nah, never mind. Don't worry about it. Time travel. Don't worry about it. So that's it for this week's pull list. Next week we won't be recording episode 285 of the Comic Conspiracy, and the reason why is Ryan Higgins is going to close the store, put out the books for Wednesday, and go home and drink either because we're doomed or we're really fucking doomed. So there won't be an episode next week. I'm thinking of maybe doing a little Q&A episode here on the YouTube channel. So if any of you want to shoot me any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and just label it question or election night question, and I'll go ahead and try and answer those. Maybe I'll do a little quick answer or question and answer video for you guys. But it depends on your participation. You must participate. Yeah. So, yep. Hopefully you guys had a safe Halloween, and you are looking forward to Thanksgiving, even though everything around seems to be already fucking Christmas. See you next week.